What's up, friends and family? It's your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, back with season 2, and I got that special for you, the one and only Dee Dee. What's up, Dee Dee?
What's up, people?
You see, Dee Dee got the guns out.
Guns out, guns out.
I just want y'all to know, and I know this ain't even another thing, but I was happy about this. This episode is brought to you by Black Girl Sunscreen. Okay. I found out I was today years old when that existed. Cause like, all right, this is the way Dee Dee described it to me. You know how like you put sunscreen on, you around here looking like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that does not have to be the situation. That does not have to be your reality.
It does not.
Dee Dee got this sunscreen. Tell us about this sunscreen. Dee.
Yeah. So for those of us who have a little extra melanin, when you put white sunscreen on your face, it stays. So there's always this white film. You try to rub it in as much as possible, because another thing, Black people, you got to wear sunscreen because we get skin cancer too. Okay? Got to wear sunscreen to protect your melanin, because when your black can crack if you don't take care of it. Ooh. So anyway, Black Girl Sunscreen is a brand of sunscreen specifically made for deeper tone skin tone people. I don't know how to say that right, but it is a brand, and I've been using it since I heard about it last spring. And I started off with the spray, then I got the kids version because it's a little lighter, but it's still SPF 50. It is a legit brand. It is in all your major retailers like Target, Walmart, Amazon. You can buy it directly from Black Girl Sunscreen, but it works wonders. It gives you the glow. He thought I had cocoa butter on, and it's literally sunscreen.
It looked like the cocoa butter number 4.
It's on my shoulders.
It looked like
hey,
them traps is trapping.
Listen,
so it ain't like it just make it look like your sunscreen.
This is only from doing hair. This ain't even from lifting. Yes.
Well, we into it. It's summertime. We need those tools. Thanks for equipping us on that.
So drink your water and wear your sunscreen.
But we back. Here's season 2. We got some episodes. We got a whole season under our belt, and we excited, man. Dee Dee, tell me one thing that so far is the highlight of your summer. What's the highlight of your summer? What you been into?
I don't have one highlight, but did some traveling earlier this summer. Not done traveling before the summer is over, so that was good. I got to go back to the homeland, the motherland of Northern California for quite a few days. Got to see my people, so that was exciting. It's just been good so far. So getting out in the sun, getting in the pool a lot as much as possible, cooking, grilling, all the stuff you should do in the summer.
Good. I've yet to grill yet, but I've been outside a lot. Summer is where I thrive. I don't mess with anybody who ever know me. I know I don't mess with that cold weather. Don't ever invite me to build a snowman. A snowball fight is a true declaration of war. Don't mess with me with that. Like nothing about the snow gets me, but I do got that tropical bug, I guess, in my life, in my DNA, if you will. And so I had a chance to go to Southern California. As you guys know, it may be called California, but Southern and Northern, 2 totally different things. I don't even know why they're considered the same state, but I digress. But I had the chance to go to Southern California and see my peoples, hang out with my Nana. She don't let us call her grandma, and you respect that. Had a lot of time in the water. It's not done yet. I'm excited to travel some places. I love seeing places that I've never been to. And I'm a sucker for waterfalls, like literally, like waterfalls. Just it's something about that make me think like deep thoughts. Like I'm talking about diving deep and having deep conversations around a waterfall. So if you don't got nothing on your bucket list, that's your bucket list. Put that on there. Have a deep conversation around a waterfall.
What's the best waterfall you've seen so far? Your favorite?
Ooh. Okay. Now I got a bias, right? A lot of people like the biggest waterfall. A lot of people like something that goes into a nice looking lake or something like that. My best waterfall has to be something that you can get into. Like I want to be
Hmm.
able to touch it. Like I got to. I've seen too many jungle movies to not touch this waterfall. And so I would say the top one has to be I'm gonna mispronounce this. So if you're from Oregon or the Washington area, I apologize. Melanoma Falls. It's just beautiful. You got like the little bridge scenery.
Hmm.
If you wanted to do a photo shoot, it could be a fire photo shoot if you went
Yeah.
to Melanoma Falls. So look it up, Google it. Tell them I sent you, and I guarantee if you have a deep conversation next to a waterfall, your IQ points go up at least 4 points.
Unless you
It's
fall into it.
and yeah, and then like you don't know me. You haven't heard from me. I did not tell you. I did not tell you to
Yeah.
embark on the journey. That's not what's up.
That's one of my
But
favorites too. I don't know the name of the waterfall I saw in Oregon, but Oregon was one of my favorite spots.
mm,
North Carolina has some great ones
really,
in the Blue Ridge Mountain area. Oh yes.
I ain't been to the
Beautiful.
Carolinas. I ain't been to the Carolinas.
Beautiful part of one of my favorite parts of the country, period, is that
Oh,
southeastern. Yeah.
really?
Yes. Very green, very lush mountains, fresh, clear air in the morning. Beautiful.
Man, I'm a West Coast baby. I need to get out.
Yeah. But I did see a pretty awesome waterfall when I went to Honduras. Um,
Mm.
it was hot, and when we got to that waterfall, we were like, you would have thought we saw Jesus because we the mosquitoes, and it was hot and sticky and humid going through that jungle, but it was beautiful, super
That's good.
refreshing. So I don't know if I have a top, but Oregon is up there.
Oregon's up there,
Oregon is up there.
and
Yeah.
as you young people would call, it's a vibe.
No,
It's a
you did
vibe.
not pull your
As you
weight.
young, it's a vibe.
Oh my god.
It's a vibe. Yes. Did you know you can interact with us and continue the conversation via our online forum? That's right. You can email us today at setapartpodcastteam@gmail.com because this is not just a podcast, this is a movement. We're looking forward to hearing from you. It's been so many things that's happened in this summer. So this is what we're
Yeah.
gonna do. We're gonna catch y'all up a little bit. If you wasn't out there in the world, if you're not out there in social media, news, anything, if
Yes.
you don't know what's up, we're gonna catch you up right here live and in person. We're gonna talk about what's new. So this is what the format is gonna look like. We're gonna just talk about what's popping.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna take 5 minutes each. If we need to stop the timer, we'll stop the timer because sometimes we got to dive a little deeper. Didi, what's first? What's popping?
And let's keep it light. Right now there's a lot going on in the world of sports. A
Right.
lot. So we won't necessarily go in the order of events, but we're just going in the order of our brains, okay?
Okay.
So most recently, um there was a draft for the NBA, which leads to free agency right after that, and then summer league right after that. So it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the draft for a second. I mean, I don't know all
Okay.
these young men, but let's just get into that.
Okay. Bet that's easy because for the first time in since LeBron Ramon James, I'm not sure if his middle name is Ramon. For the first time since LeBron Ramon James, there is an actual prospect that I feel that could be a generational talent. Now, this is not like how the media was hyping up Andrew Wiggins. Like Andrew Wiggins was being, I'm telling you, no cap, no disrespect
I
to
remember,
Andrew
I
Wiggins,
remember, I remember.
but they was hyping him up, saying like this is the guy who's going to be the face of the NBA. And I
Whew,
feel bad for Andrew Wiggins because he is very much so not that guy that they hyped him up to be.
at all.
But then came the young, I'm not even sure how old he is. I want to say he's close to 18, 19, 20, Victor Wembanyama. Now, I do not buy hype in any draft, any single draft. I don't buy hype in it because their job is to get you excited about the product. That's their
That's
job.
it. Yeah.
Sports media is supposed to get you excited about the product. And so I'm like, okay, who's this Victor Wembanyama kid? Like I looked at some highlights and I'm like, okay, I can't willfully say he's going to be that generational talent because he's going against a whole bunch of European people who I don't know what their skill level is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't gauge his skill level if I don't know their skill level. You could be hooping against a whole bunch of fourth graders. That's not a good
Right.
highlight tape.
Right.
But yet and still, we're at the point of the time of recording this. We had a couple summer league games.
Mm-hmm.
We got a chance to see him go against some real NBA talent. And I am here to declare live and in person, I am on the Wembanyama train. I finally can see somebody who is a young prospect who can take the face of the NBA away from, the LeBrons, the Stephen Currys of the world. I thought it would be Ja. Then he turned from a passer, a cutter to a shooter. That's a joke. That's exactly. That's just it's probably went over some of y'all heads. But what's up with the draft? Because I know it's your San Antonio Spurs. Ain't that
Yes,
right,
sir.
Didi?
Yeah. So let me take a couple steps back. First of all, the lottery. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody knows I'm a Spurs fan. Even though I wasn't born in San Antonio, when I first started really focusing on basketball, that's when the Spurs were winning. I moved here 1997, the
Ooh.
same year Tim Duncan was drafted. So the
Okay.
timing couldn't have been better. And he like killed it his rookie season.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we have not been that caliber team in a while. I won't say that. We have not been winning like we should because I still went to games and I still love the coaching. But anyway, it was our time to turn it around. So
Right.
when we got that number one pick, I was
I'm.
so excited. I was
I
so
was
excited.
happy.
So excited. Not just because he's coming to my favorite team in the NBA, but also because of the team itself. I
Right.
feel like that's the best place for him to be coached, held accountable, not be in a lot of trouble, not get caught
Right.
up. It kind of matches what it seems like his life philosophy is. So, of course, it was assumed he was going to get pick number one. I'm glad he did. I am not a hype kind of person either because I have a mind of my own.
Right.
However, the stuff I was seeing him do at his size, I have not seen before. First of all, I haven't seen many 7 foot 3.5 inch
Yeah.
people, period. But the fact that he could handle the ball, the fact
Yeah.
that he can shoot and he actually has good form shooting and he's only 19.
Yeah.
So
That's
he's
crazy.
he's very much not even done growing.
Yeah.
And he can still build up his muscle. He has so much upside. I think that's the thing nobody's seen before. Now
Right.
LeBron bulked up as he came along,
Yes.
but LeBron was already like super flying out. He already had the body,
Yeah.
super intelligent. This guy, I think, is just as intelligent, but he doesn't. He's the tallest guy on the floor, but he's not a center, and I think
Yeah.
that's what makes people excited. I saw the summer league games too. They was clowning my boy. I don't think he's going to be the face of the NBA right now. That's
Right.
not my position, but I think he's better than people are giving him credit for
Right.
because it seemed like there was a lot of hate all over social media. Oh, they think he the next coming of Jesus. I'm like, dang, what did he do to y'all? He just played 2
Right.
games. Like, and then they was clowning because they shut him down for the rest of summer league, not realizing what happened last season to old boy in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
He got hurt and didn't play at
Exactly.
all.
Exactly. And so that changes everything right there. Something that I would say about the whole Victor Wembanyama thing, and I love the fact that they went to San Antonio, but when we talk generational talent, like a LeBron,
Mhm.
hands down, whatever you think of him as far as the GOAT conversation, it is no question that he is a generational talent. That is
Yeah, best player to
undisputed.
come out of high school in history.
Exactly. And so when you talk about Victor Wembanyama's skills and the fact that he can develop a little bit more and potentially when like pick and roll is like some of the bases of most offenses in basketball in general. If you have a dominant center and you want to get them some space, maybe just don't post them up all the time, run them with the pick and roll, especially if you got a dynamic guard with a dynamic big. That's poison. And the fact that eventually I can see Wembanyama developing to the point where he can be either the ball handler or the roller in the pick and roll is dangerous.
Yeah, well,
That's
that
dangerous.
and Greg Popovich is, if you don't defend a rebound, I don't care how well you shoot, you're not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is going to block. He's going to average, and you can quote me on this. He's going to average, I'm going to say 4.5 blocks a game this year.
Ooh, this year
hmm
as a rookie.
If he's playing, if he's on the court, he's going to average 4.5 blocks a game. Average. So
That
there's going to be some games he going to have about 9. Some games he's going to have 1 or 2. But he's going to, it's impossible. Now,
right,
the guys in the NBA, not Summer League, the guys in the NBA are bigger and like stronger and know how to protect the ball with their body, but he gonna get them still. Because
right.
I saw him block with both hands,
Mm-hmm.
which is not common, as people might assume. It's not common. Most people have a dominant hand that they swat shots with,
Mm-hmm.
and because he's so thin, he's not gonna get you with the body as much unless that offensive player is smart enough to use that and draw the foul. But he's
Right,
gonna do that. He's going to guard some guards. So that's probably that might be a weak spot, is keeping up and moving side to side with the smaller guards that he might get stuck on.
right.
But they're not going to shoot over him.
Yeah, no, 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 no. His wingspan too long.
It's ridiculous.
Without jumping, his wingspan is too long.
Yeah, it's already 8 feet.
Just imagine him. And I don't know if I got to put this out here in the universe, or hopefully, Dirk, you watch this, and I know you're pretty loyal to Dallas. But if you can get with him and show him how to do that little fadeaway thing that's unguardable, especially when you're 7'3",
Oh, he already doing it for sure.
come on,
He already doing it.
and we're gonna get into this right now. We can start the timer. I know we want to go to free agency, but we got to stop first and talk about the trades. All right. Now we talk about good places, good faces, new places, for, trades in general. And I'll just start with putting a little nugget in your ear. There is teams that I can see players when they get traded, they'll fit well with. There's teams that the media will tell you that they fit well with, and then there's literal teams that they will fit well with, because of identity and maybe because of play style and maybe because of what the
Mm-hmm.
roster that they currently have. Now, I am just going to throw this out here in the world. Everybody talking about this Damian Lillard trade that could potentially be happening. Now, I say Miami Heat, yes, it could be a good fit, but some team that I don't think people are thinking about is, I believe that if you drop Damian Lillard in the middle of the San Antonio Spurs, they can make some magic. That's all I'm saying. What you think about that, Didi?
I agree. And again, it's not because of my bias. It just makes sense. The only thing that wouldn't make sense is who they would have to give up,
Right.
because Portland does not want picks. They want stars.
Yeah.
But San Antonio has a good 4 players that are going to be stars. They didn't come straight out the gate as stars. Keldon Johnson, the old boy from Florida State, they're going to be a problem. Keldon Johnson played on the USA team with the stars of the NBA, DeMar DeRozan and all those guys.
Right.
Like, they are really, really good players. They're just young.
Right.
So that's why Greg Popovich just signed a 5-year extension on his coaching contract, because he knows something that people aren't paying attention to.
Right.
And historically speaking, when the media does not pay attention to San Antonio, that's when they have their best seasons.
Right. They building something around here.
It's something going on.
It's something going
There's
on.
something going on in the works. Now, Dame, I just don't believe that he going anywhere. I just don't.
I don't like, and so this is the concept of, and this is probably a whole nother situation, but Dame in general, we talk about the idea of loyalty. Now, first of all, this is what I believe. There's no such thing as loyalty in business. And I say that because of this. Let's take the NBA away from it. Now they have something in the workforce, like at the job that everybody has. It's called at-will employment. And what that means is you can leave today without putting in 2 weeks. But guess what? We can fire you today without saying you got 2 weeks left in the paycheck. And so at-will employment, when at-will employment exists, There's no such thing as loyalty. You can go to your job in the morning and work as hard as you can, but they're mainly worried, and I'm sorry to be very cynical about this, they're mainly worried about what you produce,
Yeah.
not who you are. They're
Right.
not loyal to me at work.
And I ain't
No.
loyal to them.
And you not loyal to them. Everybody sit up here and say, I constantly tell people like, oh, I'm loyal to my job. I don't want to leave them. If they stop paying you right now, you had to finish out the year. Would you still show up?
I only
No.
go to get paid. I don't.
Exactly. You would not. And so then spin that to a NBA team. It's like, no, Damian Lillard, guess what? They're not loyal to you. You know why? They're trying to get the best deal for them, not to send you where you want to go. They trying to get the best deal to them. Loyalty in the NBA don't exist.
The NBA is the biggest soap opera I've ever watched, and
Yes.
I can't look away. Damian Lillard knew and knows exactly what he's doing.
Yes.
He, y'all got to stop believing. Okay, people that don't know basketball are going to watch ESPN and all these other shows to get the narrative.
Right.
These people create narratives so they have something to talk about. Damian Lillard knows what he's doing. It's a game.
Yeah.
He professed his loyalty to do what? Get the contract.
Yes.
Duh.
And he got it. And he got it.
He knows that they're not going to win no championship in Portland. Never have, probably never will. Portland is a beautiful city. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, people want to live here, small market. These players don't care about small market, big market. They want to go where they get paid. Y'all need to stop this. Why do you think people go to colleges in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, this is true.
Because they paid for them to go.
Yes.
They don't care about, well, I want to live on the West. I want to live in LA.
Guilty.
The only one that can do that is LeBron, because he just signed a 1 year, almost $100 million contract. Ain't nobody else doing that.
Yeah. And that's crazy.
It's a business. Dame's feelings, it ain't his feelings. I'm sorry.
You're right. And Dame also, I think I seen this contract and they said like in year 4 and 5 of his contract, he'll be like 38, getting 60 something million a year.
He knows what he's doing.
Listen.
And so does his agent. Y'all, people be tripping. And then what kills me is when people read into Twitter, oh, his agent posted this. Isn't that like a death sentence? You don't think these people know what they're doing? Strategy. It's a numbers game. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's real. That's good. We can go on that Dame thing forever. And it's crazy that we spent that whole segment talking about Damian Lillard because that is the biggest potential trade of the season. And you still have names like Chris Paul being traded. You still have names like, I mean, if you want to say that this is a big name, Kristaps Porzingis being traded, Marcus Smart being traded. You got all of these names of still being traded. Now, I do want to spend time on the Chris Paul thing eventually to see if it works, but I feel like we just got to move on because this free agency period has been crazy. When I say crazy, I mean capital all the letters. How did the NBA turn into a 12-month league all year round? It's crazy.
Okay. Here's the thing. In my opinion, the people that don't play, okay, I won't say that. The people that have played but maybe don't play at the professional level, what they fail to understand is it's not college.
Right.
It's a job.
Yes.
College felt like a job, but we were not getting no contracts. Okay. We were getting lunch money, first of all, if that. But you don't have to, it ain't about feelings. Yeah. So if the NBA, okay, so the NBA and the Players Association came up with this agreement to allow players to have more autonomy over their careers so they can go where they want to go. And a lot of people have the beef with this person asked to leave after they just signed an extension. Now they demanded a trade. Now, I personally don't like that. Because how can you ever you can't build a championship team in a season. That's what some of these younger players don't understand.
But there's a such thing as bird rights, though.
Okay.
So bird rights means that the team that you currently have, if you have the bird rights, they can sign you for more money than a team if they traded you after you got the contract after to get it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But yes, I understand that. But what I'm saying is the part where people's feelings are involved. Okay, for example, James Harden. He didn't demand a trade. He gets on my everlasting basketball nerve because every season he played his game. But I get it, but at the same time, it's getting to the point where he's just annoying. Every season, he gets the option, he gets the player option, and then he demands a trade.
I can't. I don't. I don't.
You're never going to win a championship, God. You're not going to because you don't know your teammates every season. That's not how winning works.
Sorry to that man. I mean, and meanwhile, like we talk about legacy and all these trades happening, these free agencies and everything happening and stuff like that. Legacies are being hurt.
Oh yeah.
And so just like if I don't know if anybody's ever worked a corporate job, and so a corporate job, sometimes they give you budgets. They give you yearly budgets. It's projected off of years past and what's coming up. So both of them play a factor, sorry, into what's going on. And so,
yeah, projections.
If you don't spend X amount of money, you're not going to get X amount of money because on paper it looks like you can deal with less. So the overhead looks a little different, right? And so I understand that they have to go out and spend this money, but there are some certain free agency things that has happened that is stupid. Like Dylan Brooks signed with the Houston Rockets. It was first reported as 5 years, $80 million. But then this is some new nuggets for people who didn't know, right? And then they found it more lucrative to do it as a sign and trade. So therefore, Memphis signed him back, right? And then put the name on the dotted line for the 5 years, $80 million. But guess what? When you do a signing trade, it's such a thing called a signing trade incentive. So then this man will potentially make up to 9 to 10 million more dollars than the 5 year, $80 million because he was signed and traded. Dylan Brooks is making $90 million.
Trash, sorry. And
what
he probably
doing?
He got to average a certain, when they say incentives, that means you got to probably get a certain, some stats. You probably got to make an all-star team, got to make an NBA team at some level. All of these things. So now we about to see him act ridiculous because he's going to be trying too hard.
Way too hard.
Which he was doing when he wasn't paid. So
what? Wait. Meanwhile, Russell Westbrook signs for 1 year, $8 million. What world do we live in?
It was
what
crazy.
World?
Why did Golden State get Chris Paul? I'm sorry. What?
I mean, here's the question. And for you Golden State fans, I asked you guys this because I don't know the answer. Was the goal to get somebody dynamic like Chris Paul, or was the goal to get rid of Jordan Poole? You tell me.
B, by far. By far. What can Chris Paul do for the Golden State Warriors other than fuss in the huddle like he always do?
And so the rumors online now, since the trade has happened, is that everybody was giving Draymond Green a bad rap for punching Jordan Poole. But Jordan Poole, but the team protected Draymond Green in that time, right? And the reason why they say they protected him is because Jordan Poole was getting fly at the mouth with Kerr and saying, like, questioning his leadership and saying, forget you, Kerr, and going crazy at him. And then Draymond Green stepped in and Poole got these hands. And so with that narrative, it kind of changes things, right? It has to change the whole story.
He was gonna have to get. It was gonna be one or the other, and they ain't getting rid of Draymond.
Yeah.
So either way, it wasn't gonna work. I don't think that was an isolated event. I think that was something that just happened to get caught on camera that day. But I don't think that's the first time they got into it. Both of them got mouths. Right. But I think a lot of it has to do with Steve Kerr. If that's the rumor we're gonna go with, because Steve Kerr is the ultimate players coach. and whatever they want, he gonna do to please them. And when you bring in young guys, they think that that's the way it is. Oh, so y'all can get what y'all want from the coach? Oh, I can too.
Mm. Yeah.
Y'all be talking to Steve like that? Oh, I can too. So when you come in, and he came in at like age 19 or 20 as well, he
Yeah.
probably thought he assimilated to the culture, and he thought because he had that one good postseason the year before, oh, I'm a splash brother too. They calling me the pool boy with the splash brother, so I'm up
You're
in
not.
there.
But you're not. But you're not.
Who told him
Listen,
that though?
he lost me when it was a game, and I literally seen this. It was a game. It was like a minute left. They were definitely within striking distance of winning this game, and it is Stephen Curry,
That brother
the
said.
the greatest shooter to ever do this, right? To ever touch a basketball, and Jordan Poole takes the shot.
That man said, I'm a splash brother too.
He's not. He's not. He's so not. Okay, and this is so I know we spend a lot of time on the NBA, but I gotta get your take on this. And I'm just gonna ask one question and you can dive deep into this. The Phoenix Suns has Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. I don't know if people know about this, but they also signed Eric Gordon, who is a good role player now at this time in his career. And so it looks like a full roster reconstruction, but now you have three all NBA people on the same team. So here's my question to you first, and then you can dive into whatever you want to go to. But will this work?
No,
Hmm.
because here's the one factor that people are disregarding. Frank Vogel is their coach.
Mm.
And it's not so much an indictment on Frank Vogel, but this roster with Monty Williams, now you got my attention.
Yeah.
But they let old boy go because they didn't win a championship, which they weren't going to. So I don't
Right.
I don't know what that was about. They were not going
Thanks,
to.
Chris. Thanks, Chris. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna blame Chris Paul's injury, but
I don't even blame his injury. Even if he wasn't, even if he was healthy, it's just something missing there.
yeah,
If they would have ran it back one more time and added a piece, maybe not as big as Bradley Beal, if they would have added one more piece, they needed their role players. They didn't have a bench
right.
last year. Or if they had the bench they had the year before, but they
Yeah,
all went to Brooklyn, right?
yeah,
That was the
yeah.
team that should have ran it back, honestly.
Right.
So part of the
You,
problem with the NBA is these owners want instant gratification, and I'm like, guys, there can only be one champion. So everybody doing all this stuff, there's still only one trophy. Like
yes,
somebody gonna lose,
yes. Somebody's
and
gonna
it
lose.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean you didn't have a good roster.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one champion.
Yeah.
So Phoenix looks a little bit extra thirsty right now. Now they probably will win. They're gonna win over 50 games this season for sure.
Okay.
Um, I don't think this is a championship team though.
I don't either. Yeah. I think you run into some cohesion things. But outside of me not thinking that this is a championship team, just because it's top heavy like a mug. It is top heavy like a mug. It's a guy who goes in there and he does amazing numbers on the bench. He does amazing number on the shoulder press, and his legs look like twigs. It is
And he's
literally,
very immature.
and he's very immature. It's just so top heavy. But here's my question, and this is why I want to spend the next of the time on this, because I need to know from you. We talk about big threes in Brooklyn. We talk about coming into the game with the Oklahoma City Thunder. We talk about the only two rings that Sir Kevin Durant does have is with the Golden State Warriors, which, keep in mind, before he even joined them, they won 73 games.
Mm-hmm.
Does this free agency, it's not even free agency because they signed them, they got trades, signing trades.
Mm-hmm.
Does this roster construction hurt Kevin Durant's legacy?
No, I'm not with that legacy argument when it comes to that. Um, unless you James Harden, who wants to leave every season. To me, That's that dude
Uh,
is something's wrong with him.
yeah.
I don't think it hurts Kevin Durant's legacy, and I one of the reasons why is because he shows up to work.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason, which we'll probably have some 30 for 30 or Netflix special later down the line, of why Brooklyn was such a mess and
Yeah.
why he wanted to be there so bad and then wanted to leave so bad. Um so I don't think it hurts his legacy. A lot of people talk about, oh well, you couldn't win without these people. And
Yeah.
I'll be like, so
Right.
nobody can win without four of the guys on the court.
Right.
So that's another media narrative that I'm like, okay, but also too, we talk about legacy, we talk about Hall of Fame caliber people, right?
Right.
Why is it so easy to get in the Hall of Fame now? That's the legacy problem. How you
Tell me
still
about
how
it.
you still a player and what?
Tell me about it. Like,
Because some of
listen,
these people, I'm like, who is
and
that?
and so here's the thing. Keep in mind, and this is something that I think has been wrong for a long time. It's called the Basketball Hall of Fame. And so what they do is they incorporate people's college careers in the Basketball Hall of Fame because the NBA does not have a Hall of Fame.
But the
Um,
college basketball, they do.
but the college basketball does. So what they do is, for example, hands down, I'll tell you this right now, because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, is because they want to incorporate other leagues. They want to incorporate what you did for Team USA. They want to incorporate if you won national championships in college. They want to incorporate also your career in the NBA. And I think that to me is such a big scale
Right.
that a lot of people are getting in. Like, for example, like I'll take it to football. That's my sport. I love that for sure. If you ask me today, I would tell you that Tim Tebow was one of the greatest college quarterbacks of my lifetime. And that's true. He won 2 national championships. Now, by putting him in a Hall of Fame, let's say the NFL didn't have their own Hall of Fame, that would imply that he had even a decent NFL career. Bro, Tim, I love you. I hope you're watching. I love you. I want you to know I love you. But the NFL career,
No.
it was liquid. It was liquid. It was runny.
That's what you call a bust.
It was runny. It was bad. But you were probably one of the greatest college quarterbacks of my lifetime. And you can hang your hat on that. But we have to have distinctions between one and the other.
It's
We have
crazy.
to.
Okay. Just let me just give an example. First of all, I'm of the mindset if you're still actively in it, we
Mhm.
shouldn't be saying your name yet.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
your legacy is not complete. You're
For
still
sure.
trying to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I'm just going to read some names in the year they got inducted. And you tell me, are these equal?
Okay.
Okay, 2020. This is the class. This is one of the best classes ever. Kobe Bryant,
Yes.
Tim Duncan,
Yes.
Kevin Garnett.
Yes.
We'll stop there. The rest are coaches or female players, media. Okay, that's
Right.
2020. The
Okay.
very next year, 2021,
Okay.
Chris Bosh, Paul Pierce, Ben Wallace, Chris Webber. Out of all of those players, huh?
Okay.
What
So here's
did Chris Webber win? He was just a memorable figure in basketball culture.
yes.
He was a great player. Ben Wallace.
I loved him. He was one of my favorite, but I I can't help but look at him and all the other centers in the Hall of Fame and say one of these things don't look like the other. Um,
For multiple reasons.
yeah, it's
But like,
whoa.
and I respect his game. He, and sometimes it's like the impact of a player, but like that should have been something like maybe the Detroit Pistons got in
Right.
or something, or
Right.
that year when they just came out of
Oh,
nowhere.
it was
And
a great team. It was an
yeah,
amazing team. Yeah. Like the
Paul
GM. The
Pierce.
GM, the GM of that Detroit Pistons team
That's
should
what
have
I'm
got to the
saying.
Hall
The
of Fame.
whole
He
team
should have
that
went in.
year. The whole team that year.
Yeah.
I mean, where's Rip Hamilton?
Yeah.
Tayshaun Prince?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Chauncey
Yeah.
Billups?
Yeah.
If that's the case, put the team in.
Yeah.
Chris Bosh?
See, and that is the one out of all of the ones that you said, that's the one that I don't get really. Because don't get me wrong, like to me, he was an all-star, yeah, but every all-star is not a Hall of Famer.
No.
And so that one it kind of confuses me. Like I'm surprised
That's
that
what I'm
he
saying.
got it at all. Like I'm so surprised because think about it. Like he started out with the Toronto Raptors. Don't get me wrong, doing great numbers. He was an all-star with the Toronto Raptors. He was playing pretty well.
That's
But
it.
ultimately, you were playing meaningless basketball. You
Is
were
he a
playing
fa-
meaningless basketball.
is he a Hall of Famer without LeBron James?
No, I don't think. No, here's the thing. Not only do I think he's not a Hall of Famer without LeBron James. Oh, this sounds mean, but I don't think he's relevant without LeBron James.
I'll do you one better. That was not a big three.
It wasn't. It
Can we
wasn't.
stop?
It's once again the media needed at that time to push, and so many people. It's crazy because I'm like, I don't think so. Okay, you put Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce together. That's way more of a big three to me than Dwayne Wade, which at that point in time, think about it. They started this journey in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Wade came off of knee injuries. He hasn't been flashed since 2007, coming off of that Miami Heat win in 06. And
Before the big three was there.
before the big three, like, and so like, I don't think so. Like, don't
Thank
get
you.
me wrong. Chris, you played a pivotal part on that team. I guarantee that maybe they would not have done it without you, but we're talking Hall of Fame, man. I'm not talking All-Star. I'm not talking bragging rights at the barbershop. We're talking Hall of Fame. Now, in Chris Webber's defense, once again, it's too
College.
big of a macro. They counting the Fat Five stuff.
Absolutely. And
They
that's
counting the Fat Fives.
and that's why I say, like, when you talk about legacy, his the story of the Fab Five is, of course,
Yeah.
of course. But how can you compare 2017? Bill Self was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Bill Self is still coaching.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I'm surprised Big Self's still alive. Like they getting old, bro. like these coaches getting old. Like that's that they're gonna have to take Pop out on a respirator. Like that's how much he dedicated to the game. Like these people ain't stopping.
He got inducted
Um,
too, and he's still coaching. But it makes no sense. So when people talk about legacy in the media, is this going to hurt? The running joke on social media. Oh, this doesn't affect LeBron's legacy. All that stuff happens.
right.
So when you ask me, does Kevin Durant's the rosters he's been a part of hurt his legacy? I don't think so, because he was
Okay.
going to go to the Hall regardless.
Regardless. Yeah.
The way that, okay, now Golden State won before he got there, but the way that he played when they won,
Uh-huh.
he was like, "Oh, I'm Kevin Durant."
Okay, and that's one of the arguments, right? Because like I'm just from my basketball eyes, and I'm not saying the fandom, I'm not saying the storylines, I'm not saying anything besides the literal X's and O's
Mm-hmm.
and the system and everything. I'm telling you right now, that 73 win Golden State Warrior team is the best team I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's before Kevin Durant. Their motion was crazy. The dude at the end of the bench was a threat because of the way that they played. Like,
Yes, and I agree. But if you think about it, this is all in hindsight. They caught on to the analytics game before everybody else.
yeah,
That's why. Because Steve Kerr was like, 3 is more than 2. So if we shoot more 3s than 2s, we're going to score more in a short amount of time. So that's
right,
what we're going to do. And these 2 guys can run around without stopping, and they're going to make everybody else tired. So we're just going to score more.
right.
And then teams was like, what kind of basketball is this? That's when the
Mhm.
conversation started with, oh, Steph changed basketball forever. And little
Yeah.
kids thought I could shoot from half court.
I don't when I go to the gym, Diddy, I don't let like you gotta have an age requirement to be on my team. Like that's how much it's changed the game. Like, bro, like no, like I can't stand. And here's the thing though, and I know Steph Curry, you didn't do this verbatim. I understand that, but just my basketball pet peeve is I don't like to let people off the hook, and this is what I mean by this. There are certain speed advantages you have. There's certain size advantages you have. There's certain physical advantages you have where you can truly almost 90% of the plays take advantage of your defender.
Mhm.
Now, here's the issue. We will have small guards. Like they're the fastest. If you took it to the rim, I'll be playing catch up. I can't stop you. You're too fast. Like you're literally just speed past me, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're very much so guardable because they're shooting 6 feet beyond the three, and not even that driving is not an option for them. And so then
Don't know
they end up
how.
losing the game. They end up losing the game. I'm like, you're stupid. You could have had that. You could have scored every time you wanted to if you wanted to. It's
And
it's
that
the
leads
world
me
we
to
live
my
in.
next point. Well, 2 points came to mind. The first one is I'm just going to throw this in there. If you are a coach or call yourself a teacher of basketball to
Mm-hmm.
anyone that is not professional, I'm just going to leave it at that. I
Right.
won't say what age. If you really think you know basketball and you don't watch the WNBA, you're lying. It's probably several things, but give me something that you.
The viewers, whatever way you're consuming this, I want you to hear this.
First, you say, what wisdom did I already give you?
To me, it came at such an amazing time.
Because we just say stuff because we don't understand it or we don't take the time. Because if you want to teach these kids how to play ball, and I'm not talking about the WNBA because I'm a woman,
Right.
I would say women's college basketball too. If you did not watch last season, you don't love basketball like you say you do. If you really want to teach these kids how to hoop, you don't have to be the highest jumper. You don't have to have the biggest vertical, the tallest vertical. If you want to teach them how to play, how to be smart with the ball, how to pass, how to make good decisions, watch these games. I'm telling you, it's not the way it used
Right.
to be. It's
And
really
and
not.
I'm not a woman, and I'll back that up. Like literally, if your turns of the systems ran in a basketball game, what are you doing? 5 out. What are you running? A flex offense? What are you running? What is your predominant best score? Your predominantly best player? A high screen and roll player? Is it like just depending on all of these other things we could put into a flip flop, a flop, all of these other things we can put into it. Here's the thing. I firmly believe this, and I stand by this. You will get way more out of it in terms of learning the game by watching women's basketball than you will guys' basketball. And this is why. And here's the things too. You'll find people in the NBA, men in the NBA, age out way faster than women will in the WNBA. Do you know why? Because they build it off of athleticism, because you can jump higher, because you can run faster. But what happens when you can't? That's when you phase out. Meanwhile, you got people like Sue Bird holding that place in the WNBA for years and years and years because
21
her
years.
her mental game was, and I think she could have still kept going. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
I when she retired, I was like, no, it's crazy to see 21 years and I think you can get 24. I truly feel that way because her mental, she knew where people needed to be. She knew what to expect. She knew what your game plan was and here's the thing. Because they know the game so well, a lot of their moves are reactionary, which they should be instead of premeditated that you do with athleticism and jumping higher and all this other stuff. Imagine going into a game saying, I'm going to dunk this ball. I'm going to dunk this ball. Meanwhile, the woman is coming into the game saying, okay, I'm gonna go up on him, and if that don't work, I'm gonna spin around and I'm gonna hit him with this hook. I'm gonna hit him with. They got options in this mug. You just got one thing.
And I would say this too. I would even say the women are more athletic than they when we used to be because training is different. I would
Right.
also say there was a time where women would tear their ACLs all the time because
Mhm.
women back in the day were afraid to lift.
Mhm.
That is a myth that is dead, thank God. Um,
Right.
all of these things happen, but even if you're teaching the game, the out of bounds plays, your kids, you cannot teach your kids what the Golden State Warriors are doing. I don't care. I know that looks cool on TV, but you're
Yeah.
watching it while you're listening to ESPN analysts talk you through it. But
Uh-huh.
if you want to coach the game and teach it, your kids' bodies are more similar. You're gonna have a lot less Kevin Durant's than you
Mhm.
will Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
Teach them how to use their body. I'll digress. Let me get off of that. I just wanted
It,
to
it
add that
it's good.
because
It's very good. Here's the thing. We won't even go into another topic because I feel like we got to do a part two because there's so many things that happened in this summer. But could you tell the audience, if you had to say a favorite player in the WNBA today?
mm,
Now, I understand the heart probably wants to go back to Elisa Leslie. Don't do that.
it don't.
Refrain. Um,
It
if you
don't.
had to say a favorite player in the WNBA from either their play style, how they present themselves, a marketability for whatever reason,
Mhm.
who would you say that favorite player in the WNBA is today?
So they got to be a current active player.
A current active player.
Chelsea Gray.
Chelsea Gray.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And why Chelsea Gray?
First of all, Chelsea is from the Bay Area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's my favorite
Yeah.
word?
Yeah. That's first of all. But even if she wasn't, I watched her play at Duke. She's always been, as we like to say, a dog. But when she played at she got a championship with Los Angeles back in the day. When she came to the Aces, she became the leader. She's not only a
Mhm.
leader like vocally, the coach lets her say what she sees in the huddles
Right.
because they trust her. But her decision making is unmatched. She
Right.
knows when she can shoot it. She has the weirdest fadeaway, so you can't block her shot. Her passing is Magic Johnson esque, no exaggeration, because she knows where her players are. Which, if you're gonna be a point guard, who are you? You gotta know where your player. If you're gonna be the quarterback, you gotta know the routes
Right.
because you gotta lead them there, right? She knows how to pass. She makes great decisions, and her timing of her decisions is even
Right.
great. She knows when, okay, the play is falling apart. We got 6 seconds left on the shot clock. I know what my shot can do. All I got to do is get to my spot, and nobody's
Right.
stopping me. Her decision making is probably my favorite thing about her, and she's fearless.
Right.
When she makes a good play, she celebrates, but not like, oh my god. She like back on defense. She like, yeah, I know, I'm her,
Right.
but at the same time, she everybody trusts her to make the right decision. So even the star player, the MVPs, the other, if you want to call a big three, they got a big three.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
If
think
you want to call a big
I
three, they got a big four. They got a big three and a half.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like I think it's more than three actually. But okay,
I
yes.
mean, one of them is kind of almost in a wheelchair, but you know, sorry, but I mean, my team was it before she came. I'm just saying,
Right.
but for real, like literally the big three,
Right.
like,
And
but they trust her, right? And
yeah.
so to me, the greatest achievement of a teammate is when your teammates looking at you like, whatever you say, we got you.
Right.
And the coach is saying it too. What do you see out there? I
That's
mean, if
yeah.
I'm telling you, you gotta watch these games. Y'all tripping, y'all sleeping. You gotta watch
I,
these games to show these kids like you can only make a behind the back pass in transition, no look, if you're Chelsea Gray or Magic
yeah.
Johnson
Yeah.
or
That's
Jason
good.
Williams, white
That's
chocolate.
white chocolate. No, that's a throwback right there. I like that.
Listen, she can do that stuff while she's running in transition. She's done it, and not a bounce pass, like a
Yeah.
chest pass behind the back. No look.
And so I love it because like I'm a Nevadian, you right? So our team is the Aces, right? Now, of course, like I have watched so much, I've consumed so much more women's basketball here, probably in the last 3 years
Mm-hmm.
than ever before, and I think that's a tribute to the fact that I believe that they're marketing better, they're
Mm-hmm.
getting awareness about the game out there better.
Yep.
I see assassins, and I love people's assassins mentality, like a
Yes.
Brianna Stewart.
Yes.
I like all this other stuff. But my favorite current player, and it's not very far from yours, is Kelsey Plum.
I knew that was
Um,
coming.
I love it. I love but I love the way that I love the way that she plays and reads as a single individual player, but she also plays within the system that she's able to be beside those phenomenal players. And then we add my one of my childhood WNBA crushes, Candace Parker, into the world, and yet and still you're able to,
It flows.
because of the system and the way you play within the system, you're able to add her and make it better. Like usually people would say, if the same situation happened in the NBA, you'd be like, oh well, it's only one ball. Like, oh, what are you
Yeah, all
gonna
the stuff
do?
they're saying right now.
Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do? There's only one ball. No, like these women are able to play within this system and still, like, it's not necessarily about shine because they're all assassins. It's less about, oh, I want
Thank
to get
you.
my shine, and it's more about, no, opponent, pick your poison. How you want to
Yes.
die tonight?
So what you
How you
said
want to?
about legacy, that's
Yeah,
irrelevant, right?
right,
Because all of them, they already know, like, okay, I got my legacy if we win.
right.
Are we winning or not?
Now we're talking about now the Aces, and this is something to bring out for people who doesn't know a lot about the WNBA, to bring out into the current light, or to give you a like comparison. There has not been many sports dynasties.
Mm-hmm.
There's not been many sports dynasties. Now I know people like to call certain things a dynasty and all this other stuff. No, they're not a dynasty. I don't think we've seen a sports dynasty in football since the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've seen NBA dynasty since, of course, the Warriors and what they did,
The
and
Spurs,
the Spurs before them,
the
but
Lakers.
the Lakers before them, and so so we've seen dynasties, but they're few and far in between, and there's
Mm-hmm.
very seldomly two that exist at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
Now you probably got to go way back to the 70s, 60s when you're talking Lakers, Celtics, but
Mm-hmm.
but you know how far that jump is? The Las Vegas Aces has the potential right now. They're the closest thing to what I would say a current dynasty, building of a dynasty that we're going to see. They won last year. Um, and oh girl, it's crazy how Aja Wilson just feel like she's getting better. Um, like, how are you getting better after the season that you had
Because
before?
she's 24.
Exactly, like you're getting better.
25, something like that. But let me
And
just add this real quick because I'm not new to the WNBA. So
mhm,
my favorite team of all time, which is they don't even exist. The franchise don't exist no more. For those of you who know, the Houston Comets, because my
okay,
favorite player of all time is Cheryl Swoops. So it
sure,
was,
swoops.
I mean, I had her shoes and everything, wore a number high school. So it was Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper,
Okay,
and Tina Thompson. They were a big three, and they won. They won. I think they had a three-peat when the league first started.
three peats are
If you don't
hard.
know, look them up. Look them up because listen. Now, the reason why I love the Aces is because that franchise was actually in San Antonio when it first started, when Becky
Okay,
Hammond was on the team, and they were very
yeah,
good until it kind of faded out at the end. And then when they moved to Vegas, so I'm a day one, so I'm not just an Aces because they just killing it, but
right,
I'm an Aces fan when they were called the San Antonio Silver Stars, and Becky was in a jersey and has her jersey
okay,
retired with us. So when I was in high school, we got a team here in San Antonio, so we was up in there.
yeah.
So I seen the uglies. So they got a lot of haters now, but when nobody saying nothing when it was like 14 of us at the game.
Right. Okay.
So like I'm a day oneer. Like my best
Okay.
friend in high school had season tickets, so we was up in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So shout out
Yeah.
to the WNBA. They're doing it big. It's
Yeah.
going great. I mean, so that's what's popping part one. It's so many things that we haven't dived into
So
the
many
summer, but
things.
it's things that we needed to talk about today.
Yes.
The WNBA is taking off. This NBA thing is crazy. The summer is hot, and the daddies got the thighs out now. These shorts is
Oh
going
my
on,
gosh.
man. Like if you ain't showing quads, you ain't trying. Summer is out. Hot girl summer is here. Come on, boy. Know your worth, King. Know your worth.
Y'all
Know
in
your
these
worth.
shorts.
Know your worth. Know your worth. We get God's getting cat calls these days. I walked down. I came from the gym. Hey, what up, Shawty? Hey, it's a whole female telling me what is up, Shawty, right now.
I don't like that
Listen,
at all.
hey, it's 2023. We here. Know your worth, King. Know your worth.